the popular churches are assumed to be the good churches because it's kind of like, well, if everybody's going
Yeah.
here, then obviously it's. I think we have
And then-
this assumption that like bad churches are empty churches.
Yeah, and because I think sometimes people can associate people flocking to something that God's hand is on it.
Yeah.
And so would you talk about the things that we should look for in discerning what's a good church?
Yeah, I think Christ has to be centered. What does that look like?
Yeah.
The pastor can't be over celebrated. There's nothing wrong with appreciation because it's important. I think leadership, but the leadership has a plurality of leaders with what I call a first among equals, right? And so that first among equals is the person that is the rudder for the ship, right? The visionary, the one, double honor, leads well, right? Like Peter was in the church, the Jerusalem church, like Timothy was in Ephesus, like Titus was in the churches on Crete, right? So you need that. I think they stay in the Bible and they go through what the Bible actually says. We were talking about somebody earlier Jesus gives the interpretation of the verse, but they said something totally different. Like paying attention, like we learn context clues in the 3rd grade. It's some stuff that you can literally just see without knowing Hebrew or Greek, right?
Yeah.
Also, what's the community like? Like what mechanisms do they provide to help people to connect with other people? And in those spaces, how do they connect? Is the word of God talked about? Is it is it a sense of, and this is some stuff pastors can't necessarily control. That's something where believers have to take responsibility for helping being community developers, right? And so I think do people do they have a space for believers to do life on life? If you like, at the end of the day, that's not talking about being all in your business. I don't want nobody in business. You have to have space
That's
for
good.
people to be. Listen, the most impactful discipleship, I guarantee, that you've had. I mean, there are levels of discipleship. You have air war, you have ground war. Air war is Sunday morning worship, teaching, conferences, all those things is air war, right?
Yeah.
But then you got the ground war. That's small groups, one-on-one discipleship, small groups of discipleship. All those different things are God's means of helping Christ and relationships with other believers.
That's good. Yeah.
So I think that you gotta have those things, because if you let the production experience of Sunday morning be kind of like your the pep rally for your Christian experience, you won't grow deep.
That's
good. That's
Yeah.
really good.